Tough times? 5 secrets to help you get through them. Life is 10% of what happens to us and 90% of how we react to it. Charles R. Swindoll. Each of us has faced difficult times. At times, it feels like the world has been heaped on our shoulders and things are not going our way. At times like these, we especially need support and an understanding of what to do next. In this video, I'll share 5 secrets that will help you overcome the toughest times in your life and come out of them stronger. After all, without the hard times, we wouldn't experience the sweetness of happy days. First secret, embrace your emotions. Difficult times are inevitably accompanied by a wave of negative emotions: fear, anxiety, sadness, or anger. Very often we try to suppress them by distracting ourselves with work, entertainment, or other activities. However, the first and perhaps the most important secret to overcoming difficulties is to learn to accept your emotions. Why is it important to accept your emotions? Emotions are a signal our mind sends out to help us realize what is going on around us. Denying emotions only reinforces them. Imagine you're trying to hold a ball underwater. The more you suppress it, the more it tends to break free. So it is with emotions. Suppression leads to stress, depression, and emotional burnout. Acceptance, on the other hand, helps you understand their nature and cope with them. But why do we so often try to run away from our feelings? It is because we are taught from childhood to hide negative emotions, showing us that being sad, angry, or upset is wrong. However, it is important to realize that all emotions, both good and bad, are necessary for our mental health. Accepting emotions helps us to understand ourselves more deeply and, as a result, cope more effectively. How to put this into practice? 1. Listen to yourself. Find a quiet place where you can be alone with your thoughts. Try to understand what exactly you feel: anger, anxiety, or resentment. Name your emotion. Sometimes just naming an emotion is enough to make you aware of it. For example, instead of saying, "I feel terrible," try to specify, "I feel fear of the future," or "I'm upset about a fight with a loved one." This exercise helps not only to clarify what is going on inside, but also to reduce tension. 2. Express your emotions. Don't keep it all inside. Talk to a friend, write in a journal, describe what you're experiencing. Sometimes just expressing yourself is enough to ease your soul. If you can't talk about your feelings with someone, try using techniques that help you express emotions non-verbally, such as drawing or playing sports. This can be your way of blowing off steam and feeling relieved. 3. Give yourself permission to feel. It's important to allow yourself to feel any emotion, even if it feels negative to you. You have the right to be sad, cry, or angry. It's okay to do so. Try to avoid self-criticizing yourself for having difficult feelings. Remind yourself that this is only a temporary condition and there is nothing wrong with it. Case in point, when you experience the loss of a loved one, the first thing you want to do is run away from the pain. But accepting your grief and expressing it through talking to friends or a therapist will help you get through the process faster. It's important to remember that the grief process is a natural response to loss, and suppressing it can lead to deeper emotional problems in the future. Additional practical tips. Breathing exercises. If you feel emotions overwhelming you, try taking deep breaths in and out. This will help stabilize your emotional state and reduce anxiety. Meditation. Even 10 minutes of meditation a day can help you learn to observe your emotions without getting completely involved in them. Accepting your emotions is the first step in learning to live in harmony with yourself, and it opens the door to further coping. Second secret, break the problem into parts. When we are faced with a huge task or problem, we can easily feel overwhelmed. It's like standing at the foot of a mountain and looking up. It seems impossible to get to the top. But what if you start climbing step by step? The second secret is to compartmentalize the problem and tackle it in stages. Why this works? When we are faced with a major problem, our brain automatically turns on defense mechanisms and we start to feel fear or panic. However, if we break the task down into smaller and simpler steps, our stress levels decrease. We begin to see solutions and feel in control of the situation. It's important to realize that any big problem is made up of many small tasks, And each of these tasks can be solved separately, making the whole coping process more manageable. How to apply this? 1. Identify the main components of the problem. Write down exactly what your concern is. For example, if it is financial difficulties, you can divide the problem into these components: cutting expenses, finding additional income, restructuring debts. It's important at this stage to take your time and really understand what aspects of the problem need your attention. Very often people feel stressed not because of the problem itself, but because of the feeling of helplessness in front of its scale. Breaking it down into its components helps you to see the real picture and understand what needs to be done first. 2. Prioritize. Once you've broken the problem down into its parts, it's important to determine what needs to be prioritized. It is often the case that the most difficult tasks are not as critical as they seem at first glance. Try to highlight the steps you can take right now. This will allow you to feel in control of the situation and relieve stress. 3. Make a plan. For each part of the problem, write down specific steps you can take today. You don't have to try to solve everything at once. Just focus on one action at a time. For example, if you're struggling financially, your first steps might be to analyze your current expenses and create a budget for the coming month. The more detailed you spell out your plan, the easier it will be to implement. The main thing is not to try to do everything at once, but to follow it step by step. Case in point, if you're stressed out at work because of a heavy workload, try making a list of all your tasks. Then prioritize them and start with the most important ones. Small victories help you feel confident and manage the pressure. For example, if you have several urgent projects, start with the easiest one or the one that requires the least amount of time. This will give you a sense of accomplishment and help you tackle the rest of the tasks. Additional practical tips. Visualize the task. Try drawing your problem as a diagram or map. This will help you see its structure and more easily understand where to start. Tomato method, Pomodoro. Use the Pomodoro technique by breaking your work into 25-minute intervals. This will help you maintain concentration and not overwhelm yourself. When you break the problem down and tackle it step by step, you no longer feel helpless. You are in control, and that sense of control is a powerful tool for overcoming challenges. Third secret, find support. When times are tough, we often feel alone. We feel like no one will understand what we are going through and that we need to cope alone. However, this is not the case. One of the most powerful tools for coping is the support of others. Why is support important? Humans are social creatures, and connecting with others helps us feel connected, relieve stress, and gain new perspectives. When we share our experiences, not only does it ease our emotional state, but it also helps us get valuable advice or support. Sometimes, just knowing that you're not alone in your worries can be a relief in itself. In addition, the people around you can help you see things from a different perspective, which can sometimes be the key to solving the problem. The tendency to isolate ourselves during crises is one of the most common mistakes. We feel that we have to cope on our own, that it is wrong to burden others with our problems. However, connecting with loved ones, friends, or even co-workers can be a source of needed energy and support. How to do this? 1. Reach out to loved ones. Talk to friends or family. Sometimes just having someone around can be a huge support. Even if you don't feel like discussing your problems in detail, the very feeling that there are people who care can be an important source of moral strength. Try to surround yourself with people who understand and can support you. 2. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Many people are willing to help, but they may not know you're in a difficult situation. Be clear about what kind of help you need. For example, if you are having trouble with household chores, ask friends to help with cooking or shopping. It may seem like a small thing, but these actions create a sense of support and reduce feelings of loneliness. 3. Use professional support. If the problem is too serious or complicated, don't be afraid to see a counselor or therapist. Professional help may be just what you need to make sense of yourself in the situation. Many people think that seeing a psychologist is a sign of weakness, but it is actually a sign of maturity and willingness to take care of yourself. Example from life. In moments of depression, a person often closes in on himself, avoids socializing. But a simple meeting with a friend or a conversation with someone you trust can be a turning point and a source of support. For example, a person may not realize that their friends or family are there to help until they share their feelings with them. Additional practical tips. Supportive groups. If you feel that loved ones can't understand your problem, seek out specialized support groups. These can be online communities or local groups of people who are going through the same difficulties. Caring for others. Sometimes it is important to give as well as receive in order to feel supported. By helping others, you can feel that your life has meaning and that you are not alone in your experiences. When you find support from others, it gives you the strength to move forward. Don't be afraid to share your difficulties because that is what makes us stronger. Fourth secret, take care of your body. Our physical well-being is directly related to our emotional and mental health. When we go through difficult times, we often forget the most basic of things, our bodies. This leads to increased stress and poorer overall health. Therefore, taking care of your body is an important aspect of overcoming difficult times. Why is it important? Physical health has a huge impact on our mental state. Proper nutrition, physical activity, and sleep are key factors that help us cope with emotional difficulties. Scientific research shows that our body and mind are closely linked. A healthy body supports mental health, and taking care of the mind improves physical well-being. If you feel unwell physically, it automatically affects your mood, stress levels, and decision-making ability. When we are under stress or going through emotional upheaval, the first thing that suffers is our lifestyle. We begin to eat poorly, reduce the amount of sleep we get, and decrease our physical activity levels. Ultimately, this creates a vicious cycle where poor physical condition increases stress and negative emotions, which in turn further undermine health. Therefore, it is important to consciously incorporate taking care of your body into your daily routine, especially during difficult times. How to apply it? 1. Watch your diet. When you're under stress, it's tempting to eat more junk food or skip meals. However, eating a balanced diet will help your body maintain energy balance and improve your mood. Foods rich in vitamins and minerals help improve brain and nervous system function, which helps you cope with negative emotions. Try to include more vegetables, fruits, whole grain products, and proteins in your diet. Avoid excessive consumption of sugar, caffeine, and alcohol, which can increase feelings of anxiety. It's important not to strive for the perfect diet, but simply to maintain a balance. For example, if you find yourself craving something sweet, try replacing candy with fruit or yogurt with honey. Not only will this provide the nutrients you need, but it will also avoid blood sugar spikes that can cause mood swings. Second, physical activity. Even a little physical activity, such as a walk in the fresh air or yoga, can go a long way in improving your emotional state. The fact is that physical activity promotes the production of endorphins, the hormones responsible for good mood. These hormones help you cope with stress and increase your overall sense of fulfillment. Even if you don't have the opportunity to work out at the gym, simple exercise at home or hiking can be a great way to reboot. If you don't feel strong enough for a full-blown workout, start small with 10 to 15 minutes of stretching or light exercise. You can gradually increase the time and intensity of your exercise when you feel ready. The main goal is to keep moving, even if it's just a few minutes a day. 3. Sleep. Lack of sleep worsens our mental health, making us more irritable and stressed. Try to stick to a sleep schedule, even if it seems like there's no time for it. Sleep is not just rest for the body, but it is also an important process for mental recovery. During sleep, our brains process the information experienced during the day and regain the resources needed to make decisions and deal with emotions. If you're having trouble sleeping, try following a few simple guidelines. Try to go to bed and get up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Avoid using gadgets an hour before bedtime. Blue screen light reduces levels of melatonin, the sleep hormone. Try practicing meditation or reading a book before bed. This will help relax your mind and prepare your body for rest. Case in point, in times of anxiety or stress, physical activity can be a great escape. Even 15 minutes of exercise can help lower cortisol, stress hormone levels, and improve mood. For example, a person who is constantly feeling tired and anxious at work can start by taking short walks at lunchtime. Not only will this provide an opportunity to decompress, but it will also improve concentration and productivity for the rest of the day. Additional practical tips. Water balance. Make sure you drink enough water. Dehydration can increase feelings of fatigue and reduce concentration. Yoga and meditation. If you're not ready for vigorous exercise, try practicing yoga or meditation. These practices help relax your body and mind and improve your breathing, which is especially helpful when you're stressed. Taking care of your body isn't just about physical activity or eating right. It's a holistic approach to keeping your body and mind in harmony. Even small changes to your daily routine can make a big difference to your emotional well-being and help you get through difficult times more easily. Fifth secret, change your perspective. Difficult times often seem insurmountable to us because we fixate on one aspect of the problem and fail to see the whole picture. The fifth secret is the ability to change perspective and see the situation from a different perspective. Why it works. When you look at a problem from different angles, you begin to realize that there are always alternative ways and solutions. This helps to ease negative emotions and open up new possibilities. Often our reaction to a situation is driven by perception rather than objective reality. If you look at your problem from a different angle, you can change not only your perception, but also your attitude to what is happening. The human brain is designed in such a way that in times of stress, it is prone to tunnel thinking. This means that we can fixate on a problem and not see possible solutions. When you change your perspective, you give your mind a chance to see new solutions and reduce your stress levels. It also helps you develop mental flexibility, which makes you more resilient to future challenges. How do you apply it? 1. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? In every difficult moment, there are lessons that can make you stronger and wiser. When you face difficulties, try to see them not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity for growth. For example, if you lose your job, it can be a chance to reevaluate your professional skills and find new areas for development. This doesn't mean you should ignore your feelings, but it's important to use difficulties as an opportunity for self-improvement. 2. Remember past victories. Very often we exaggerate the current state of affairs. Think back to times when you faced and dealt with difficulties before. What skills or strategies helped you then? Sometimes, looking back, you may realize that many of the current challenges don't seem so daunting. This approach helps build confidence in yourself and your ability to overcome any obstacles. 3. Imagine counseling a friend. Sometimes a shift in perspective occurs when you imagine that it's not your problem, but the problem of a loved one. What would you advise him, her to do? This method helps you look at the situation more objectively and lessen the emotional burden. When we give advice to others, we are more likely to act logically and rationally, while our own emotions can get in the way of making a sensible assessment of the situation. Try to apply this to yourself. Taking a detached look at your problem can help you see new solutions. Case in point, if you feel stuck at work and have no prospects, try looking at the situation from a developmental perspective. It might be a chance to think about changing careers, learning new skills, or even starting your own business. Often, what we perceive as a setback can become a point of growth. Additional practical tips. Keep a journal. Try writing down your thoughts and feelings on paper. This helps you get an outside perspective and a better understanding of what's going on in your mind. Practice gratitude. Writing a list of things you are grateful for every day can help you change your perception and focus on the positive aspects of life. In conclusion, everyone goes through difficult times and it is part of our lives. It is important to remember that any difficulties are temporary and we have the strength within us to get through them. As the famous philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, "What does not kill us makes us stronger." Don't be afraid to face difficulties head-on. Each of the secrets described can be a powerful tool for your growth and overcoming all obstacles on the way to a better future.